Hey Grande Alive, it's beautifully warm outside, and this is your weekly Newsish Roundup brought to you by Grand Ronde Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, Anything2Digital.com, and Direct Music Source. So many of you know the biblical story of Joseph. Joseph is one of 12 brothers who is, let's be real here, a little bit of a spoiled brat. He's daddy's favorite son who gets a fancy new coat, and not only that, gets dreams of ruling over his brothers directly from God. And what does he do when he finds out? Well, he tells them about it, his brothers. He tells his brothers, and if Disney movies have any historical credibility to them, goes on a musical tirade about how great he and his new coat are.
A coat of colors bright as butterfly wings, to remind me things you told me all my life. I am special, I am smart, I am somehow set apart. Petty rules and limitations don't apply, for I am a miracle child.
Seriously, Joseph? Are you asking to get sold into slavery? Because, well, that's exactly what happens in the story. Now, it's a good thing that God's favor for this little brat isn't contingent on him not being a little brat, because everything turns out all right. He ultimately becomes the second most powerful man in Egypt and is reunited and restored with his family, who are then, a couple hundred years later, enslaved themselves. Guess what goes around comes around, guys. Anyways, all this to say that Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, this story is coming to Elgin Opera House, and for this show, they're hosting a guest director.
You know, we were finishing up A Christmas Story, and towards the end of the production of our Christmas show, several of my staff members had decided to move on. Some of them, their contracts expired, others had other family types of things, and I found myself with a very slim staff. And I was looking at, first of all, my own nerves, and secondly, I was trying to figure out how I could, literally do everything that needed to be done in the next 7 weeks. I was tempted to pull the show from the schedule. So I went and approached my friend Ken Wheeler, who I've worked with for many years here at the Opera House. And I just went to him, I said, Ken, is there any way that you would be willing to step in and do this show for me and direct? Because I will, I'll produce it, and I will take care of all of the other business, but I can't do it all.
He said, I've directed 2 huge shows, Little Mermaid and A Christmas Story. And he said, I'm supposed to be directing Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. The show is cast, but I'm just feeling too burnt out to do it.
He said yes. He said, I'll do it. He kind of bailed me out of a tough spot, which was great. It's great so that we could continue doing the show.
There have been a lot of productions of this show over the years, and a lot of them are very much driven by the spectacle, by the tricks and the lights and that kind of thing. And that's not to say that that's not important, but I really want to concentrate on the story.
The themes are endearing. There's tragedy, there's betrayal, all of those things that I think many of us live with in our own lives are told in this story.
In the arts, you have a lot of people who believe that the purpose of the arts is to teach and to provoke. For me, art is to entertain. I want people to come into the theater, and 2 hours later, I want them to leave having had a good time and feeling good. And so the reason to come see Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is that you will have a good time, you'll have lots of fun, and you'll leave feeling better than when you came into the theater.
Shows start this Friday, February 17th, and run every weekend through March 4th. Showtimes are Fridays at 7:30 p.m. and Saturdays 2:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. every weekend. So if you like old Bible stories with a fun new musical twist, head out to Elgin Opera House next couple weekends. Visit their website at elginoperahouse.com for more information and to buy tickets. This lead story was brought to you by Direct Music Source. Want your singing to go from this?
I just allow a fragment of your life to wander free. Oh.
To this? Head down to Direct Music Source, where they have instruments and music lessons for anyone from kids to adults that will bring your vocal prowess to the next level. This week in Coffee with Will, I sat down with Austin Saunders, the local representative for Oregon Rural Action. Austin is an IOU graduate. He graduated with a history degree and got a job right here in La Grande at the local social and environmental justice agency that is ORA. Talk to me a little bit about Oregon Rural Action. What do they do in the community and how are they trying to help?
So the biggest thing we do is we bring people together to talk about what kind of issues and things they want to work on. There's lots of different groups that have formed out of that. There's an energy team, there's a food and ag team, there's a social justice team, and like I already said before, the healthcare team, working on different things. Sometimes we'll work on like specific work to help get a bill passed in Congress or with the state legislature or something like that.
Now I asked Austin how people can help with social justice, and he said the best way that people can get involved is by getting involved with ORA.
There's lots of small things people could do environmentally. I know in the past we've done things more with individuals where we were doing like the solar water heater things and programs and stuff like that, pushing those. More so now, I think we're trying to bring people together to actually take action together to get specific things accomplished as groups of people, kind of like mobilizing people power to help make sure that the needs of people are being taken care of over those of like corporations and other people who might have more of a lobby with the government if we didn't have grassroots organizations like ORA working right now. But I would say the main thing they could do is just get involved and join us. The event that we're having this evening, the Love Your ORA event, it's open to everybody. You don't have to be an ORA member to attend. And we hope that people who aren't members will also attend and come talk with us and talk with the people who have been out there doing stuff.
Overall, the conversation was a serious chat about Austin and the Oregon Rural Action and its mission and purpose here in the Grand Ronde Valley. The rest of this video is available on thegrandealive.tv. And here's all your upcoming events in this week's Get Out and Go.
Hi, I'm Emily Adair from Go Magazine.
And I'm Will Bowman from thegrandealive.tv, and this is Get Out and Go.
Whether you prefer art, culture, music, or theater, there's something for everyone in this week's Go.
Northeast Oregon's art lovers may be interested in a tear sheet map that will soon be available in various art galleries and businesses. The map, which also will be available online, will point out where you can find art centers, theaters, and businesses. It will also include a schedule of popular events that happen throughout the year.
The Josephi Center, which announced the Arts Trail map, has also announced an upcoming photography workshop led by David Weaver. Weaver explores early photos taken in Wallowa County, as well as the professional photographers who lived and worked in the area. The workshop does have minimum and maximum participation requirements, so you'll want to register soon.
For those of you who are interested in culture and heritage, head over to Baker City for the annual Night at the Old Auburn fundraiser. The event brings to life Auburn, a gold rush town that is no more. The fundraiser features casino-style games and benefits the Baker Heritage Museum.
Music fans can enjoy 2 separate tours in one night at Enterprise. The OK Theater is hosting indie folk duo The Shook Twins and bluegrass guitarist Billy Strings for an unforgettable night of entertainment.
There's also details about the Elgin Opera House's opening of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, a daddy-daughter dance in the Grande, and a popular Canadian band's return to Pendleton.
For more information, pick up a copy of this week's Go magazine, which is inserted in the Observer newspaper. We're also online at GoNortheastOregon.com and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
For more local content, check out thegrandealive.tv. Thanks for tuning in to Get Out and Go. And here's Josh, Jeannie, and Bridger here to bring you this week's Grand Film Reviews. This week, they review Moonlight, which could be, in their opinion, the one to win this year's Best Picture at the Oscars.
I'm Josh Byers.
And I'm Jeannie Nickel.
And welcome to Grand Film Reviews, where we're continuing our special weekly coverage of Oscar films.
This week we'll be discussing Moonlight, an unorthodox 3-act coming-of-age story written and directed by Barry Jenkins.
Moonlight follows its main character, Chiron, at 3 distinct formative points in life, ranging from age 8 to 16 to 26.
The film is shot almost exclusively from Chiron's perspective, making what should be an unfamiliar and distant experience for most filmgoers seem close, relatable, and altogether very human.
Let's jump in.
What you looking at me like that for? What, man? Come on, you just drove down here? Yeah. quiz you, Sharon? For a long time, try not to remember. Try to forget all those times.
At some point, you gotta decide for yourself who you're gonna be. Can't let nobody make that decision for you.
You gonna tell him why the other boys kick his ass all the time? What's wrong?
I'm good.
No, I done seen good, and you ain't it.
Remember the last time I saw you?
You're my only. I'm your only. No, you gon' listen.
To who, Ma? Huh? To you? Who is you, man? I ain't seen you in like a decade. It's not what I expected. What did you expect?
I think this film kind of it was like all riding on the back of Chiron and all his 3 actors, and the fact that they were able to have 3 different time periods and that like completely convince you that they were all exactly the same person was really impressive.
What's really cool about that too is that the 3 different actors, they didn't ever meet until like the Toronto Film Fest months afterwards.
Oh.
Yeah. What's insane about it is that all of their performances and how they played the same person, it's based on the script. In the screenplay itself, it was lush with tons of detail, like just pages of this is how he moves and acts and should be.
Moonlight was a heartbreaking illustration of one boy's struggles growing into his own identity and one of the most important films of the year.
The rest of this discussion can be found online at Grande Live TV.
In sports, the LHS Tigers girls basketball team trashed the Ontario Tigers 62-33. Elgin girls, on the other hand, while the Grande gals were being trashed. 2 games, 2 losses, both against Valley teams Union and Imbler. 27-51 was the score versus Union, and Imbler handed them their tails 31-57. Union had their win against Elgin, but that was their only win of the weekend, well, because that was their only game. Boys Tigers also had a weekend of wins, beating first McLaughlin against, again, 49-31. And as if that wasn't enough, the next day they smacked down Ontario 71-48 in one of their highest scoring games of the season. Elgin boys, like their girl counterparts, also lost 2 versus their Valley fellows, first versus Union 51-68 and second versus Imbler 25-54. Union, as I said, won their only game versus Elgin, and Imbler had an additional game versus Enterprise, which they also won with a close margin 55-43. And last but not least, here's your IOU Sports with Evan and Chris in Around the Mountain in 90 seconds.
I'm Evan House.
I'm Chris Duarte.
This is Around the Mountain in about 90 seconds.
Women's basketball picked up 2 critical home wins this past weekend to move into a tie for first. There was no love loss between Southern Oregon and the Mounties down the 5th-ranked Raiders 74-61. IUDS scored 19 points to pace 4 Mounties in double digits. Saturday, the women beat Oregon Tech in a thriller on senior night, 68-63. Gaston dropped 16 points, going 3 of 3 from three-point land, as she and Ashley Knight sealed the deal down the stretch with clutch free throws.
The EU men's basketball team rolled out to a pair of home wins this weekend. On Friday, EU slid past rival SOU 94-83. Finally, on senior night Saturday, the Blue and Gold beat out Oregon Tech 83-73. The senior duo of Kentrell Washington and Brian McGriff led the way as they each averaged 25.5 points and nearly 11 rebounds on the weekend. The men's and women's basketball teams travel to College of Idaho on Thursday and host Walla Walla on Sunday.
Women's wrestling concluded its season at National this weekend in Oklahoma City and placed 15th. The Hart and Grimm earned All-American honors while 3 members were just 1 win shy of the same honor. The Hart and Grimm qualified for Day 2 but would exit in the quarterfinals.
The indoor track and field team ended its regular season in the Boise State Team Challenge this weekend. Tell me if this sounds familiar, but Matt Kirkendall once again beating out his own school record in the 60-meter hurdles while taking home the win. Other top places for EU included second in the women's distance medley with the team of Current, Rowley, Homer, and Herbs. They also got first in the men's 4x400 with Morrell, Cumberbatch, Wallen, and Kirkendall. Harlan Bry notched a provisional mark in the high jump to move on, while Morgan Reddington broke a school record.
Whoa! That's the latest news in EU athletics. Stay tuned next week as we take you around the mountain in about 90 seconds.
For more information, visit www.iousports.com.
And that's your weekly Newsish Roundup. This roundup was brought to you by Grande Hospital, Northwest Furniture and Mattress, anything2digital.com, and Direct Music Source. Please like and share this video and tune in for more local content. I'm Will Bowman.